The greatest investor of all time said, if you don't understand how to make money while you sleep, you will be working till you die. Do you know who I'm talking about? I'm talking about Warren Buffett. Most people make the mistake of only trying to make a lot of money. They don't understand how that money can be put to work for them. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Rahul Ghose. I'm the founder and CEO of Octonom Tech and the CEO of Hedge. I've spent 15 years of my life navigating the complexities of the financial markets. And I've found the largest problem people face is putting their money or using their money to work for them. Do you think it is important to make money while you sleep? Or rather, is it important to make money while you sleep? That's the question we are here to discuss. As I was saying, most people want to make a lot of money, but you spend most of your life making that money, and then you realize that you've got caught in the rat race where you're working 9 to 9, making a lot of money, constantly increasing your lifestyle, and you're having to do it for 40, 50 years of your life with nothing to show or having to do it till the end of your life. The most important reason why you need to make your money work for you, or the most important reason why you should make your money work for you while you're sleeping, is a concept called variable change. Some of you would have learnt it. To give you a small example of what variable change means, I'll give you an example of a game show host. Very, very popular example. The game show host has 3 doors in front of him. One door has a bright, shiny new car. The other 2 doors have maybe goats in them. And goats are beautiful creatures, but everybody wants the car. The game show host asks the participant, which door would you choose? The participant says, door number 1. At this point in time, the game show host opens door number 3, which has a beautiful goat, but not what the participant or the contestant wanted. Now the game show host asks the participant again that, look, door number 3 does not have the car. Would you like to change your option from door number 1? Should the participant change his option? The answer is absolutely yes, because when he had 3 doors closed in front of him, there was a 33% probability of him getting it right. When one door opened and he switches his option to, let's say, door number 2, he now has a 66% probability that the car is in door number 2. I'll give you another example for variable change. Sometime in 2016 or 17, demonetization happened. If I've got the date correct, it's about 8th or 9th of November. If you switched on the television on 8th or 9th of November, all bank stocks were crashing. You switched on the news says, and I quote, today is a dark day for the Indian economy, that is why all the banks are crashing. Okay, fair, makes sense. 9th November, the very next day, all bank stocks skyrocketed. You know why? So if you switched on the news at this point in time, news said that everybody is taking cash and putting it into the bank, banks are getting cheap capital, hence it's good for banks and banks are going up. Again, makes sense, yes or no? 10th of November, banks again crashed. This time if you switched on the news says banks have got so much cheap capital that they don't know what to do with it, hence banks are crashing. All 3 news events seem probable, but this constant change is what is called as variable change, which can happen in your lives. And to account for variable change in your lives is why you need to make money while you sleep. Another very important point, it is very obvious that you will constantly keep upgrading your life. You get to a lakh of rupees in salary, you'll notice you'll upgrade your life. Then you'll go to 1.5, then you'll go to 2, and so on and so forth. At each point, you will want to upgrade your life, and when you upgrade your life, the amount of money you earn will not be enough. And this is a constant battle that people keep having, especially in the kind of gig economy that we live in. What do I mean by gig economy? Where contractual staff or where short-term works. That is why making money while you sleep is not a financial strategy. It is actually a mindset change. Is it actually possible to make money while you sleep? The answer is yes. And there are actually 5 ways to make money while you sleep, or popular 5 ways to make money while you sleep. I'll go with the most popular one, which is financial markets. Now, in financial markets also, you can break it down into 2-3 parts. The easiest part, where you invest, the investing stocks give you dividends, and these dividends give you money while you sleep. You're not, what do you mean by making money while you sleep? You're not having to work for it. Normally, traditional way of earning income is how time is equated to money. Where you give that much amount of time, you make that much amount of money. And especially if you've been in corporate life, I've spent 10 years of my life in corporate, the more time you give is directly proportional sometimes to how much money you make. This is the traditional way of making income. But making money while you sleep is not traditional, because here you've invested in stocks, the company has to work for the company to do well, and if the company does well, it gives you dividends. These dividends you don't have to work for. So if you've invested 10,000 rupees in, let's say, 3-4 very good names, dividend paying stocks like your HDFC banks of the world, like your Infosys of the world, these are just 2 examples. The dividends that they give, apart from the capital appreciation that they give over a period of time, makes your money work for you. Second way in the financial markets where you can make your money work for you is through derivative structures. I don't know how many of you are familiar, but there are very complex mathematical structures where institutions create, where they say if Nifty stays from X point to Y point, this is the kind of return you can make. If Nifty stays from Y point to Z point, this is the kind of return you can make. Again, you're not having to work for it. Nifty's movement gives you a return. Remember, the most important thing for making money while you sleep is that you're not equating time to money. If you start equating time to money, like I said, you'll be working all your life. Second, first we understood financial markets. Second, real estate investments. Now, if you buy a house or buy an office in India, the rental yield is 2.5%, makes absolutely no sense. So that is not a prudent way of making your money work for you, or that is not a prudent way to make money while you sleep. What is a more prudent way to make money while you sleep? If you buy an apartment or a condominium where the Airbnb is booming, where rental yields are 6 to 8%, that is prudent way. Number 2, you look at a lot of co-living spaces. So what happens around these SEZ areas, I'm sure you all are familiar with what SEZs are. Around these SEZ areas, you will notice that there are co-living spaces and companies hire out the entire co-living space. They have a 5-year contract, they lock in, the rent is fixed. Again, rental yields are 5-6%. Third, if you look at a large corporation buying out land to make a factory, or let's say to set up a large office, you need to have your ears on the ground for the last part, but that also gives you higher rental yields. It does not make sense to get into real estate if the rental yield is anywhere lower than 4%, which 95% of what it is in India. Please keep this in mind. But the second way to make money while you sleep is through real estate investments, prudent ones of course. Third way to make money while you sleep, REITs. Now, real estate investments might be very cumbersome for some of you who might pursue a job or a business. The government has come up with something new called REITs, in which it's like a mutual fund, but they let you invest in real estate and they pay out a dividend as well. So this is something that you can explore as well. Point number 3, peer-to-peer lending. Please don't lend money to your friends and family. This is not what that means. Peer-to-peer lending is, the reason I said that because there's a fat chance you might not get it back. The reason I'm saying peer-to-peer lending is because here there is a professional body who actually lends out a pooled amount of money from each of you and gives it to a corporation. It is regulated. You can make 10-12% yield as well. So peer-to-peer lending through a recognized body is another way to make money while you sleep. Fourth one, royalties and licensing. You can write a book or write an e-book, give it to Amazon. Let's say you charge 300 rupees for the book, you have 50% in royalties, and somebody buys 1,000 books, you make 1.5 lakh rupees if you do the mathematics. Royalties through music, royalties through books, royalties to what you write, royalties through songs you write, all ways to make money while you sleep. I'll give you a very common example. Some of your most popular Bollywood singers, every time their songs play at a nightclub, they are paid royalty. So you can imagine if there are 200 nightclubs or bars, or let's say a lounge or a restaurant, they get paid every time. Do they have to be there to make that money? No. They are making money while they're sleeping. One more point, automated e-commerce businesses. Now, most people think automated e-commerce business, when I talk about, it means that an Amazon, a Flipkart, they are automated e-commerce businesses. But what I'm talking about is a little different. I'm talking about you made a website where you're selling products of a third party. Now, to fulfill that orders of a third party, you've come up with a supply chain mechanism through your website itself. Only thing you need to keep running is your website. The person who is selling the goods has to ship it. The person, you're already cutting some amount of the money and giving it to the person who's selling the goods. You're not having to do anything. The e-commerce site is running on its own. People are buying products from a third party, and you're getting a percentage of the revenue. Again, making money while you sleep. Remember, as I've been saying 2-3 times in this conversation, that every time you put in physical effort and you equate that to money, or every time you put brain power and you equate that to money, it is again not making money while you sleep. Making money, are you having any brain power when you're sleeping? No. It is Infosys's job and HDFC Bank's job to do well so that the stock price goes up and they pay you a percentage of the profits through dividend. Somebody else is doing the work for you. And please don't start thinking that if I run a company and have 10 employees, they are doing the work for me and that is making money while you sleep. No, you're responsible for those 10 employees. It doesn't work that way. Where your intelligence and your physical presence does not make you money is where making money while you sleep comes into being. So to recap the 5 ways, financial markets, 3 ways inside that, 1 through dividends, 2 through structures, 3 through vanilla investing. Even mutual fund investing makes you money while you sleep. You have a qualified fund manager, he gives you 10, 15, 20% CAGR over the long term. If you try to time it in the short term, you can get burnt. Number 2, we spoke about real estate investments and REITs. Number 3, we spoke about peer-to-peer lending. Number 4, we spoke about royalties. And number 5, we spoke about automated e-commerce. These are broadly the 5 ways in which you can make money while you sleep. Now, making money while you sleep is no longer a lofty idea. It is actually a necessity today. A lot of people think that, okay, it's some very complex idea or it's some lofty idea. Utna zarurat nahi hai. We don't think it is that necessary. Unfortunately, that is not the case, at least as of today. The more diversified you are, the more you're less susceptible to variable change. Keep that always in mind. More importantly, you get to control the W's. What do I mean by you get to control the W's? One, just out of curiosity, the top 4 W's that you can think of. What you do, when you do, where you do, with whom you do it. What you do, you can have a bad boss, you can have backbiting colleagues, or you can choose what you want to do. You're not forced to do what you do. When you do, you can be 6 o'clock on a Sunday evening at an office, or you can say Wednesday 2 o'clock is the only time I want to work. Where you do it, you can do it in your office, you could do it on a beach, Chennai being the closest city from here. And with whom you do it, you can do it with colleagues, or you could do it with your children, you could do it with your pets, you can do it with your parents. I'll end my talk with 2 very, very important points. To get rich, you don't have to make money while you sleep. No. To remain wealthy, you need to make money while you sleep. And secondly, and more importantly, it's not about how much money you make. It's not about that. Making money while you sleep is about living life on your terms. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It was a pleasure being here.